Life lessons in everyday things. Rajiv, since you wanted to talk about this, why don't you give us an example?
Direct matlab.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so
Guys, is my voice audible and clear?
Yes, you are fine.
Let's go.
Life lessons and everyday things. So what the topic was when I thought about it is, since we are going through this phase of adulting, we try to learn through observations. So there are different things that come about in everyday life that you observe, and then you try to extract life lessons from that. So maybe you learn something from even a Fast and Furious Vin Diesel action move once, maybe. Don't jump off a bridge, or Jackie Chan, or like
family is forever.
Or yeah. Family is forever. That idea. That's type ka the. So all these things influence us. What we are observed, like people don't teach us life lessons. We observe, and that's how we learn. Like your parents didn't sit you down and be like, behave like a human being. Don't be a dick. They didn't say that. No, they themselves were good human beings. So like that, in life you face various instances where you observe, and that's how you find how to act, so basically, and how to behave. You understand through observing. So one great example of how life is in India is when you see how people drive in India.
भाई दीदी गाड़ी टकराई भी नहीं है।
गाड़ी बिना टकराए हम लोग रास्ते में गिर जाएंगे।
मैं आपको वीडियो दिखा।
Okay, what did you do?
तो राहुल इस मतलब एकदम वेरी हरी, मतलब अभी तो खत्म पॉइंट पे आप।
ये वैसे लंबा एपिसोड है, इसको 2 पार्ट में काटना होगा। काफी ब्यूटीफुल चीज बोला था जो अभी, लाइक अब आई एम इम्प्रेस्ड बाय योर
या ब्रो, थैंक्स।
मतलब you articulated thoughts genuinely.
Guys,
it's all thanks to the beer.
Yeah, Magnum. Go on.
So because, like, if you see how I was in China for a brief while, so where over there, if you see like how roads are driven, like they maintain 10 feet distance on the gari in front of you. और यहाँ पे भाई 10 feet पे तो कितना कुछ और 30 बाइक आ जाएगा भाई. And then there's no patience. There's like, you somehow get past, you don't give a shit about that guy who's trying to cross the road. You get past, after that what has happened in that crossing, you don't give a shit about. That's the attitude in India. That's how life plays out in India, where you get your shit done somehow or the other. After you've got passed through that hole, what has happened to that hole, whether it's still remaining for other people to pass through, is not your lookout.
I think it's the opposite.
Why?
Like, I don't think, what you're saying is that India is a little more individualistic in that sense, but it's not true. India is far more collective than individualistic. If you see people here, like, it's a little different. No, over here, people are more individualistic. Like, you have to look at it from, not like, that is one example, right? But think about moving out of your house as soon as you're 18.
Okay.
That's not happening in India. You're still living under, your parents' house.
That's because of social norms and rules and pressures and all those things.
Not a rule. Not anymore. It's not a rule. You could, but you don't have the ability to. People over here don't have the ability to, but they still move out.
Yeah, that's because society demands them to move. I'm talking about, forget about, like, let's say big life decisions. Forget about all that. Okay. I'm just talking about going through everyday life. Let's say today, if I have to, let's say, file a petition in court, okay, I don't give a shit about if tomorrow Ishmeet Singh Batra can file his petition. I give a shit about my petition today. I have to somehow get it done for my client, somehow or the other. I don't give a shit what's going to happen 10 years down the line for the progeny.
Fine.
So in that way, for this particular one task that I have to do in today, look at it like task by task basis. Don't look at it like शादी करना है तो कैसे, how will I go about it, or if I have to move out of home. Don't look at big life decisions.
In a way, what you're saying is, I mean, it kind of applies to like any life anywhere. No,
anywhere.
It's more like you have to fend for yourself.
Yeah, that
you are responsible for your future and your past. You can't blame it on somebody else, and you have to if something screws you up, you are still a little like liable to like how you come out of it, because nobody else is going to give a shit about you, really.
Yeah.
And that also goes to the point that, okay, like that's why we say family forever, because if anybody's going to be by your side, it's your family.
Yeah.
In more cases than less.
So that's the system, that idea we've developed through in India, right? And that's how you see that play out in a very real and dynamic sense in the roads of the city and the roads of the country, where you see different people, different types of vehicles, and you have bullock carts, you have horses. Last time in Guwahati, I saw an elephant in the road. So all these things, it's how life plays out. You see it in the roads of the country. So that's one observation. And you have, like, if you learn, like Ishmeet learned driving very recently, and he'll talk about his experiences, how he drives. So the way he drives, okay, and the way he acts out while driving, and he expects the other people to देख कैसे जा रहा है इसको, like, no, he's showing his inherent attitude as to how he is as a person. He behaves people next to him to drive in a proper, decent manner, not to be like a recluse and drive left, right, and almost hit his car. He expects 2 meters of distance behind his car and the other car, but the other person doesn't see that 2 meters as personal space.
Right. And then, so if on the contrary, if let's say you're the person who's cut him off, that really speaks to the person you are, who's like kind of in a rush, not very patient, don't really care about other people, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas Ishmeet would be more to do with safety, and if there are other people in the car also, you're more conscious of how you're driving and keep them safe and secure and all of that stuff.
If you've got a girlfriend on the side seat, you'll be more, you'll abuse less maybe on that day.
Key point. Kind of thing. Ishmeet, what are your thoughts on this? This is so true though. Good point.
No, I think so like I said just some about complementing Joe's IQ. Like what I've been doing, rather I practice now, is this entire thing is observation, right? I, for some reason, I just go right down to the details, and I try to map a person's characteristics to what they do. I'll give you guys a very nice example. Okay, this happened very recently, about 3 months prior to this. There was this guy in our team. Okay, now my co-founder first was managing him. Like, it was related to a function which I am not it's in the marketing domain, but it's not something I'm very well aware of. Like, basically ads, right? So it came to a point. Hassan's like, Ishmeet, it's whatever had to be done. Now you go ahead and put out the process and get the person, so he knows the work, but he's not systemized. So get him systemized, right? So I was like, sahi hai, wo to meko karna aata hai, setting up processes and all of that. Now he took out, so we were discussing, we had a meeting, he was taking down notes, and in the middle he had to explain me something. So मान लो अगर ये copy है ना guys, so he wrote just 3 lines here, then he switched to the other page and he started drawing something, then he again switched to the other page, and not on the left side, on the right side, and he wrote something. I'm like, तू इतना space क्यों छोड़ रहा है? बोलते नहीं मैं थोड़ा ठीक से करना चाहता हूँ. Then he told me in that notebook he had other notes and everything also. So I heard him, and after I told him ki, bro, like just hear this out. So I was like, bro, do you feel that you need a little bit of organizing? You lack a little bit of process? He's like, yes. He's like, but why are you asking me that? I was like, do you believe in processes? I'm like, yes. Like, again, why are you asking me that? I'm like, I believe that a lot of a person can be said by their actions. And in this case, your notebook. Now this guy, guys, before this, very clear, like putting more context, thoda sunna nahi chahta, little stubborn, comes from a good place, he's done some good work. But there is a little
so every Indian basically.
Yes, but yeah, on a serious note, he had a little bit of thing. He knows his shit, he's point he's done, but this is one thing he lacks. So if you tell somebody, you disacknowledge all the good things they've done, but you point out this is bad, and with a good intention of making it better, but kahin na kahin ek flag aata hai, right? So for a moment when I said that, he was, I could see it on his face, because under I was like, Ishmeet, kya tu bola hai bhai aaj? Aaj tu kill kar diya. But I could see it on his face, there was a sense of expression ki, fuck, how did he say that, right? And that moment, and I explained it to him ki, bro, see, you keep everything in one place, you make a note, you keep things tidy, you will be more organized. And it's going to help you and your work. And guys, 1 week later, he had a new notebook specifically for the work. So what I'm getting, and he told me, Kishmi, देखो हम किताब ले आए. बोला बहुत ही बढ़िया, bro. You know, so what I realized कि ऐसे, and this is so true, like by your actions, like very lately, guys, I had my roommate who's now gone back out of town, and he's like extremely untidy. Like, you know, he was there, Piyush. एकदम गंदा, कमरे का बुरा हाल. आज वो नहीं था. Today I put some lemon. I put lemon slices. I tried to find vinegar, which I could not find, and I made this nice citrus disinfectant spray. And the entire Sunday I spent cleaning the room. You know, and that I realized कि that is, and I was telling this to somebody like this colleague of mine was saying, Kishmi, आप तो सुबह से ही लगे हुए हो. And I was like, bro, मेरे को therapeutic लगता है. मेरे को अगर मैं कोई अपनी यहाँ की चीज को साफ करूँ, मेरे को लगता है मैं अंदर से अपना बोझ हल्का मैं अपने आप को साफ कर रहा हूँ. And it really calms me down. So I've realized that I'm a person who enjoys being clean, who enjoys being tidy about things. So
but not punctual.
Oh.
Yeah, not punctual. Not punctual.
Again,
yet,
every Indian ever.
But a lot more mindful, Rahul, because I don't forget 4 recordings in one day.
Oh,
Like,
shots fired back.
We would have had like 8
Good
to
one.
10 episodes.
Anyway, I think that's what you said is a very good segue to what we're going to discuss next week, which is the habit of us as millennials over analyzing not only ourselves but also other people. Like when you talk about noticing other people, we're far more observational but also far more critical of these things. We think about a lot of things in retrospect. Like you said, we're thinking about driving and what an impact that has on our life and our life, the life lessons we're learning from everyday actions, which again is a lot of analysis and retrospect and all of that stuff. But are we doing it too much? So for that, make sure to listen to our next episode. Until then, like, share, subscribe, and listen to our
I know, Rahul, you're in a hurry. Hold on. Guys, there's a race in 2 minutes, which is why we're all rushing. But just guys, and one more thing, when you listen to this episode, of course, this episode is going to come out, the one which Rahul is talking about the next week. So make sure you all actually, as a homework maybe, actually think, observe yourself for one entire week, observe people and make a note of what you're feeling every time you either think about yourself or think about other people. Do it as a practice, do it as a, and I think it's going to make you realize that अच्छा मैं unconsciously or consciously बहुत कर रहा हूँ. And I think then you'll be able to participate in this discussion as a listener much more. Because I know that's something 3 of us are really practicing, like we spoke about, and it's going to be fun. So just do that, guys, for a week, make notes of it. And when you listen to the episode, make sure you email us that, or comment on whatever it is. Rahul, kuch
like, share, subscribe, guys. Just like, share, subscribe. Email at 3FAATY.
Rahul, ruk ja.
There is a word for what Rahul described of
guys,
what people.
Okay, bye. Shut up. Just shut up. I'm gonna stop the recording.
Wait. There's a word for what people, like if you notice people other than you are experiencing something and there's just their own problems, there's a particular word for this. If you could find that word and let us know in our email, we'll be very happy and very grateful. That's a homework for you as well. So with that, we'll conclude. Bye-bye.
Stevie, the race is going to start. Bye, guys. Joe, kaun jeetega? Bol.
Peace out.
Bye. Checo Perez.
Luck for the win, guys. Luck for the win.
Checo.
Let's go. Bye, guys.